Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Caesars, Southern Indiana, just outside Louisville, Kentucky, USA. This is the 2025 Derby City Classic. We got a packed house in here for this matchup right now. And right behind me, this might be the biggest Derby City ever. Nearly 500 players playing in each of the tournaments. In front of me is a 5 by 10 foot diamond and 16 of the greatest players on the planet. Invitational only, single elimination action to find out who is going to be the Diamond Bigfoot 10-ball challenge champion. It's round one and only one can move on into the top 8. And time to find out who it's going to be. First up, he is a 2023 American 10-ball champion, 2022 Texas Open 10-ball champion. He's sponsored by Predator, Kamui, Zone 5, and Tingo, Lewis, and Daniel. From Lima, Peru, make some noise for Gerson Martinez. And his opponent needs little introduction. 5-time U.S. Open champion, 2-time World 9-ball champion, World 8-ball champion, and now a member of the Hall of Fame, sponsored by Q-Tech, Rassan, from South Dakota, USA, the South Dakota Kid, Shane Van Boening. Lagging for the break, it's a race to 10, and sending it up to Scott Frost and Mark Wilson.
Hello, pool fans from around the world. As ACCUSTATS is bringing you our continuing coverage of the Bigfoot Challenge, we have pro player Scott Frost to provide expert analysis. I'm Mark Wilson, delighted as always to be here with you, Scott. Last night we saw what kind of toll this 10-foot table can take on players. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, Mark, last night I felt like we were actually involved in that playing. It started to get a little painful, but that's what this 10-footer can do to people. It can break you or make you. Well, we've got Shane Van Boening here today, and he will break you if you don't stay strong. Nobody on the planet breaks the balls better than SVB, especially on this big box.
It's such a weapon, too, because he makes not just the balls that go 4 rails, the corner balls, but he makes those balls right behind the one, and sometimes he'll make all 4 balls.
Yeah, and his cue ball stuns back literally about 6 feet, just above the head string. Sometimes it gets all the way back to the head string. I hope he doesn't make me look bad.
He won't. I have confidence in that. 41 years old, Gerson Martinez has won the lag. This is a race to 10. Martinez is 29 years old, from Lima, Peru, as Derek just mentioned. The 10 ball does not win on the break. It simply spots up. Any other time, it's not a call shot game. You can luck balls in, or you can play combinations or two-way shots. It's like 9 ball in that regard. No jump cues.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Mark, I was just watching him practice. He had one practice break, and it was absolutely perfect. The best break I've seen of the tournament, but yet it was a practice break. This is real world. Yeah.
7 ball, yeah, it made it.
Yeah, that was completely different than the practice break. Does have a good style, Mark. I've seen him play, I think, a couple times now. He's pretty loose, quick thinker, real fluid stroke.
He was clear thinking there. Keep your man in check whenever possible. That's the only way to stop Shane. You don't want him shooting.
Yeah, and it sends actually a real good message, right? Especially if Shane doesn't make contact here on the yellow 1, directly below the 10. It sends a message like, hey, I'm in control early.
It's one of those shots that's easy to foul on.
Oh, he made a good hit.
Great shot.
Look at the cue ball.
Yeah, this isn't fun. You got to play the 1 ball, and it's a shot to nothing, meaning that you can't win with it very easily, even if you hit it well.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's what's so demeaning about the shot, right? You know, even if you make it or hit it good, you're in trouble. So I don't know if you even play this, do you, Mark?
No, I don't think so, because it's going to be even harder. Yeah, he deliberately overcut that to try to get the cue ball over behind the 3. Failed that part of it. It looks like Shane can at least hit part of the 1.
Yeah, if he can, I don't know. I mean, you can shorten this bank up if he'd like to, and then he might get a bank on the 2, but that's just options.
Yeah, you hate to play a bank to a bank.
Right.
You know, I don't know if we can grab the overhead if there is time.
He's got a couple of good defensive plays.
We could get the telestrator up here real quick. Okay, we can't, but what I wanted to show you was that we could go off the 1 and go 2 cushions over here to the 2 and let the 1 drift across table. This is the shot that he chose.
Yeah, using the 4, right?
That's even better. Yeah, I was talking about the cue ball. He played the 1 ball.
Yeah, maybe the angle just didn't lay quite right for the cue ball.
Clearly not. Yeah.
Easier for him. He's at the table. It's tougher for us to see.
And he just wanted to stifle him on this, make it tough to play any type of offensive shot.
Yeah, and here in this situation, obviously the object ball was more important than the cue ball.
You know, it looks like he has it too. He can go rail first on the 1, super soft rail first, and just let this cue ball trickle over by the 8. Now, he went ball first. That's much more hazardous to play to leave your opponent tough. So he didn't choose the best option there.
Yeah, I agree. When you're going ball first from that line, it's so easy to miss hit the object ball. The traditional big, long bridge.
Wow, world-class hit there. And this didn't turn out anywhere near as well as he deserved for how good the shot that he made. He made it look routine. It wasn't.
He did catch it a little thin, Mark. It caught the thin side of the pocket. I think that's kind of why it got away from him a little bit more than he expected. But definitely, no doubt, world-class hit.
Shane's won this event 3 times.
Yeah, he's going to go at this, I think. Back and forth with the cue ball. Well, that's the diamond for you. The deep shelves, we talk about it quite a bit. He just caught that a fraction thick, and the table's gotten a little bit more play, Mark. We've done 4 matches on this table already. So that ball, just not quite enough.
Well, yesterday that drops for sure.
Absolutely.
You know? So now it's got, like Scott said, it's been cleaned a few times. It's napped, roughed up just a little bit more. Oh, nice shot there.
Yeah, is the 4 going to come into play? I don't think so.
Yeah, the 4 looms a lot larger on a 9-footer. That's one thing. You do have to shoot further, but you do have a little bit more range to get away with a little something position angle-wise.
Got it a little thick, but good speed. That's what allows the object ball to fall more often than not.
Yeah, my first look at Gerson was in when we were at the International Open, and I got to see, I knew he was a talented player. I didn't see what kind of firepower he has. He's yet another guy that reminds you of, Rafael Martinez.
Yeah, absolutely.
Up-tempo, fiery, shot maker.
Yeah, I'd say he's a tick more under control than Rafael, but Rafael was so accurate. Is he going to be stretched here?
Yep.
Not too bad, though. I really think he's got a great pace for the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very up-tempo. He doesn't dawdle over the shots and agonize. He gets the job done. he's very decisive. You know, you don't see him kind of halfway a shot.
Right.
He's committed to it, whether it be the right or wrong shot. He executes. Grabbed his extension for this.
He is really stretched out here.
And just like that, 1-0.
Martinez on the board first.
Yeah, Mark, we were a little bit stunned last night. To say it fairly, and I bet the players would agree, John Mora, I don't believe either of us have ever seen him play the way he played, and I felt like there might have been a reason. You touched on the fact that he was playing with a steel-jointed cue right out of the gate, which you rarely see nowadays. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something that used to happen more in the old days, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the steel-jointed cues. So I did go down and talk to John after the match. He's such a good guy. He's been a friend a long time. But I said, hey, John, something, we noticed something was off right away. Well, he went from carbon fiber for many years to a wood shaft. Nothing wrong with it. But when you make that adjustment under pressure, well, things can happen. And then throw in the 10-foot factor.
Yeah. Yeah, it all kind of just piled on up and caused him to play a match way under his normal skill set.
And there's that break.
Look at that. It's jacked up, but he does have the 5 to help him a little bit, margin of error-wise on this. I think he'll play it. How many balls did he make? 4? Let's see, 4. He made 2. Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough, for sure. I can get into the cue ball a little bit better. Yeah, he's missed this.
It was just that awkward.
And the 210 is available, but you could play the 2 into the 5-1 rail. I'm looking right down the line. It's probably a much higher percentage if you want to stay aggressive, right?
Yeah, I think the combination, boy, you're going to lose the game a lot of times if you miss this, and it's a very tough shot.
Agreed. And he does have a much higher percentage bank into the 5 here. But he is a straight shooter.
All right. 2-0. Yeah, that was.
Jumps out to a 2-game lead. And he'll have
Now we might have a real ball game.
We can't really fault him for taking that shot on, because even if you make the bank, you don't have to get a good shot on the 2, and you don't have to get out. And he had a chance. He felt like this is his highest yield. And it was probably only fractions or percentage points of difference one way or the other, but he chose what's best. And certainly can't fault him on that decision.
Yeah.
The execution.
Sure.
Shot it like it was ball in hand.
And I think as players, you know right away whether you really feel good over the combination if you're seeing it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he probably was just really seeing it nicely and felt good over the ball.
When you play as much pool as these guys, sometimes when you walk to the table, things just dovetail together and you think, oh, okay, that's the shot. And you're much better off to play a shot like that when you feel it than if like if your team captain comes out and says, hey, I want you to play safe, but you don't feel it, you never execute it as well as if you would have just played your shot.
Yeah, I think Shane's got a little work cut out for him. Yes, I still think he's the favorite in this match, possibly. But I tell you what, this youngster here has no fear.
That's the thing when you're Shane Van Boening, it's like a big old bullseye on your chest. Every guy you're going to get their best effort because they know they got to be on it for real.
Now, there's more of the break that I was looking at.
Look at that good break.
Yeah,
2 balls.
That's what I was looking at when it was practice.
And the shot. Wow.
Yeah, look, Mark, the 2 leads to the 3. Really, look at this layout.
Mm-hmm.
When you really look at it, just avoid the 7 if you can, and maybe even catch a piece of it. Here's another look at the break.
Super square. Well, this is that first shot after the break. That's such an important ball to get down. And if you try to be too good with your position play, sometimes it leads to a missed ball. Here, make sure you get the 1 ball down, even if you don't get perfect position.
And he's got a very long extension, and it's obviously needed.
Comfortably played.
Yeah, and that's going to work.
And he's going to leave his extension on because he sees he's a diamond past, yeah, he's going to need the bridge on this, even with the extension. Or it'll be a 4-foot bridge length.
Does he come between the 3 and 10 or just hold there?
I think he's just going to trickle it in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Shane Van Boening at times will show some negativity in his chair, and that's kind of started already, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's not a good habit to have. One, it emboldens your opponent, but also it expends energy in a negative way that you're going to need later in the match to recover. Now, we know he's perfectly capable of doing it, but it's not the right way to go about it.
Yeah, this guy has no wasted movements, right? Everything is deliberate. Very efficient. Does that need to settle?
Well, that's maybe as far out of line as he could have possibly gotten on the shot, which is no fault of his own. But anyway, this would be the only one he could possibly miss now. And he handled it effortlessly. Nice break and run out here. First one of the set as Martinez takes the lead 3-0.
Very nice quick break and run from Martinez. It opens up a 3-game lead. Van Boening to break in rack 4.
There's very few players in sport that operate well with negative energy, and when we go back to tennis, you look at John McEnroe and pool, it'd be Earl Strickland. But even then, both McEnroe and Strickland, I don't think they were really negative. They were just blowing off steam. I don't think they believed a single word they said. It was just a way just to let out some nerves and go on because they'd rally from behind and win.
100%. I fully agree with you there. I think they actually motivated themselves that way, and just like you said, didn't believe any of it.
And it was more of a distraction for the opponent. They weren't even thinking about anything they were saying. Good break, but maybe he can get that one.
I think he can. He did miss-hit it a little bit, though. The cue ball shot straight to the left of the table.
This is that super delicate. Now, Shane has all the tools. One thing that Shane has over everybody is he can hit the balls accurately with power harder, and he can also hit the balls accurately softer.
Yeah, this is tricky, though, right? Because I think he's got to go into the 1 first here. If he goes rail first, real easy to lose the cue ball. See? He went to the rail first, and it's real easy to go too far. Now, I'm not saying that he's in any major trouble, but I thought he might go to the ball first there and just wrap around 2 rails above the 10.
Boy, he handled that nice. Very controlled on a thin cut.
Yeah, can he hold for the 5? I believe he can, no problem. Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge Van Boening fan, partly because of his work ethic, but two, it's just fun to watch someone that's committed every molecule of their being over many, many years to play, and then to watch them perform at this level where they make the hard things look easier than the other good players do.
Yeah, I think we're all big fans of this guy. He is spectacular. So close to winning his 6th U.S. Open last year in Atlantic City. We were all pulling for him. It was intense, to say the least.
Came down to what, him and Gorst in the last rack, was it? Or
No, I think there was a few racks in between, but early, man, it looked good for SVB. Federer played solid, man. What a career he's had, and what a year he's had. Shane clearly not affected by the 3-0 lead by Martinez.
Yeah, a little sloppy there. He shakes his head side to side, recognizing he should have anything but this. Nice break and run out. Gets himself on the scoreboard here, and he's trailing 1-3.
And he's on the board. Down by 2.
I always tell my pool students, that they think the advanced stuff is like putting English on bank shots, or I mean, that's what they think. And I go, no, the most advanced stuff is your stroke mechanics, and no matter how good you get, that's for everything. You're always working on your stroke mechanics every day, or you're not going to develop. And then I'll say, just to give you, America's number 1 right now, today, he's ice fishing, but tonight he's working on his stroke delivery, and that's every day. And that's him. He's totally committed to both of those things. Now, for me, I couldn't think of anything worse than ice fishing, but nevertheless, that's what he loves.
Yeah, he loves it. He's out there by himself, and it's really a isolated experience. And he and I fish a lot, and I know for his personality and himself, it's actually a very good thing for him to do.
Yeah.
I think it all goes involved, or it's all involved with his stroke and everything else. It all plays in a little bit of a role.
Do you like ice fishing?
Not that I don't like it, but I understand it. I used to do it quite a bit, Well, I don't think he has a choice, right, because of the temperature where he lives.
South Dakota's cold, okay?
Yes.
I find fishing boring, and then cold and boring. And no, there's no way. I'll just buy a fish.
Yeah, if you're good at it, though, it's not quite as boring.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm not trying to say he shouldn't. I'm just saying that to me, I enjoy pool, but sitting there, I go, but at least you probably have like a little shelter you sit in.
No, he's out there in the open, man.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness, right. That is hardcore.
Right. Well, here we go. Gerson again with an open shot on the 1 mark.
And another nice break, just like you said when you watched him practice.
Yeah, he's not really powering the ball. He's more in control with a quality hit on the 1.
This is going to take a little delicate here to get on the 3-ball right. It's fairly thin.
Yeah, I don't think the 3 plays in the right-hand side pocket. It definitely plays in the left side, but as Mark said, there's going to be a little work to do.
If we can grab the overhead real quick, I don't know. Yeah, there it is. If you go high with left English here, then play the cue ball back this way. If you rub the 3, it's okay. If you rub the 10, you can get that out of the way. No. He's playing it like it goes in the side. I didn't think it went past that.
I didn't either. I think he was going to the corner initially.
Gotcha. I thought he should attack at the 3 rather than try to, in that particular instance. Normally this way would be the safer, better route, but no. Yeah, he's going in the corner. He did take a glance at playing the 3 off the 9, but then he saw that was going to be treacherous. Big shot here in this rack.
Yeah, he's got it fat. Very fat. Shane loves this shot. I don't know if he'll play it, but he loves to warp this cue ball with a high ball, bending it 1-2 to the 3rd above the 8. He's going to play it the smart way. 1 rail out towards the center. He went to the 2nd rail even better. So he was steeper than it looked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you play as much pool as he does and as much serious pool, your shot selections get better, and so where we're sitting, we can't tell, and he can see he can comfortably do that, and he knows that has the highest yield.
Yeah, and the patterns on the 10-foot are a little bit different as well than they are on the 9-foot.
True.
Because the table opens up quite a bit more. So you'll be surprised at times. Like Mark just said, when you're at the table, it's a completely different story.
Here's another highly admirable trait of Shane Van Boening. We were here, this would be maybe his 2nd Bigfoot win. That would be year 3. And the room was locked. And they said none of the players could get in here till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Shane was here at noon. He bribed the security guard $100 to let him in here on the 10-foot table. and got in here and won the tournament that year too, by the way.
Yeah, not surprised.
It's very endearing to me that he's going to fritter away his time out there looking at a slot machine, and he'd spend the 100 to get in here a little early and because you never get the chance to play on 10-foot table.
Well, I will tell you, he has looked at a few slot machines this week too, though.
Oh.
I don't gamble in casinos, but I had to say it.
The one thing about him that he's did well, he invested in properties and stuff. He's a smart guy.
Just the first mistake from Martinez and a run out from Boening.
Well, he doesn't seem to be affected by the 3-0 initial lead by Gerson.
No.
Sometimes Shane will just slump in his chair. That's just the way he is, right? He just kind of sits there. It's not that he's giving off a negative vibe. There is a difference between when he's in a negative mindset and when he's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
He has mishit the head ball, both of his breaks, not dead square. We'll know when he hits it dead square. The whole building will freeze. That was much more square, but he's going to come up dry, Mark.
Well, that happens. You can't assure yourself of making the ball in the break. You can hit them well is what you can do. And then the converse is also true. Sometimes you miscue and make 3 balls. You know, I mean, so you can't assure. It's just the more ball action you get, the better the opportunities become that you make balls.
Oof.
What about this shot here?
Yeah, this is tough.
I don't think Shane's going to take it.
Yeah, he's already talking about the push out. Gerson pushed out. He calls a push out, and his opponent has an opportunity to take it from where it lies or give it back.
Well, he is going to take it. I'm surprised. I guess he's going to try to bank it back for safety. I don't know. Yeah, I think he realizes it's going to stiffen up too much. His idea was good. So now Gerson is going to have to, you know, it's easier for him because he has to play something, so he can take a little more reckless shot. Where with Shane, you hate to take on a shot that you're reckless with and then give up something when you didn't have to take it. Super long bridge here. This is the shot that Shane was looking at.
Yeah, I think he was trying to collide into the 8 heavy.
It's not. I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's close.
Real bad. I don't know if he can shoot straight. If he can shoot straight at the 1, then it's going to be a big problem.
Close. I think it's on.
Okay. Yeah, on a 9-foot table, maybe that 2 does tangle up a little tighter. But here, when that wide open space is, you get a little bit more leeway to get at the ball. Yeah, I can clearly see Shane can see it for sure.
Yeah, perfect. You got to be careful drawing it. If he executes it, it's going to look easy. But there's a chance you can overamp this and go into the 6.
Yeah.
Or underamp it and end up on top the 4. I'm sure he'll end up just fine. Yeah, perfect.
Nice. If you rub that 6, it can be a problem, and if you don't get into it enough, so it was a little bit dangerous there.
something I feel like he's done, Mark, over the last year probably. He's pick up his pace a little bit around the table, just a smidge, right? But he's pretty quick around the table. He's always been a fairly quick player, but I feel like he's picked it up even more a little bit over the last year. Yeah, that's the second time he's played this ball like that.
Beautiful.
Great play.
Yeah, Shane has all my respect. I just love how he set new standards and raised the bar just through sheer determination. Hard work, willingness to pay the price, got good Midwestern values, his whole approach to everything. And I even respect it. He likes fishing. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Sure.
That's Absolutely. A wholesome pursuit.
It is. I'd love for any of my kids to be fishing every day. Well, he's got that zipper all the way down. He's a...
on his shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he does that quite a bit. I think it's actually a comfort thing. All right, well, we're going to see what Mr. Martinez is made of at this point now. Leading 3-0, tied up at 3 apiece.
And really through no fault of his own. He hasn't played poorly at all. He just hadn't had the opportunities, and Shane's cashed in his. That's just the pace these guys are going to play at. It's a much different pace than we saw in that final set last night, wasn't it? It was like pulling teeth every rack. Get through.
Yeah, the 6 went high, and that's the ball he was playing. 2 dry breaks in a row, one for SVB and now Gerson. This is tricky, Mark.
Yeah. You can make the 1, but getting on the 2 is another deal. Is he just going to roll it down there with a little inside and try to come back up through between the 3 and 9? Hit of inside. Oh, yeah. Gorgeous shot. Boy, you got to hit that pocket so pure over there. People have no idea how hard that shot just was, what he did.
Yeah, and what you're talking about there is pocket accuracy, right? They're playing it to a specific part of the pocket, and that's what tracks the cue ball the way it did, because it looked to me like if he catches it thin at all, he's going towards the 3 or the 2. So, to your point, very good.
Yeah, there's a term called missing in the pocket, meaning you made the ball, but you didn't hit the right part of the pocket for the cue ball to track properly. And this is why Shane's ball speed is good, too, is that when he pockets balls, they hit the proper part of the pocket. What in the world happened there?
Well, he was stretched. I don't know if we'll get another look at it, but he was stretched out, and I think he just miscued, to be honest with you.
Oh,
I'm not certain.
Because that was a drastic piece. It wasn't like it rattled or anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Here's our Premier Billiards replay right here. What happened? Huh.
Okay, maybe the 2 didn't go, and he was trying to 2-rail it up behind the 10 and 7 and 9. He just mishit it. I think that's actually what really happened.
Yeah, I do too, but that would be an unusual play on the 1 then, to play position. Anyway, maybe he was playing for a safety. Gerson now has tangled himself up on the 3 after making the 2.
Yeah, and it wasn't really easy to the side on the 2 ball. He made a good shot. He just lost control of the speed. Had a lot to do with him being most likely pretty uncomfortable, elevated over that ball. Now looking to go 1, 2, 3 and chip the 3 to the bottom rail. And he's done well. Can't do much better from there.
Has a relatively free straight back bank, though.
Sure does.
He must have played that 3 ball to his left. He can just let the cue ball filter over on the long rail by the 6. If he scores it, he's good, and he's got a lot of clutter there if he misses it. This will just be a ball speed shot. Okay, he missed it, but he's going to be okay.
I think that's where he wanted to play the 2 prior. He just mishit it. Can you get enough behind this to stick?
Softer speed.
Oh, you got too deep in there, Mark.
Well, that wasn't what the doctor ordered for Gerson. That's for sure. Yeah, I would have thought they would have played it with less deep and soft speed just to prevent any opportunity for that to happen, because that's what you don't want, is Shane to come to the table ball in hand. If he has to shoot from down table, sometimes it's still hard to get out, but you give this guy ball in hand, he stays in line pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be straight there on the 4. I think the 5 plays in the top right corner, but now he's going to have to most likely go to the side or the corner. You're going to the side now. 7-10 is on.
He fell just a little straighter than he wanted. He wanted to slide that cue ball closer. He just has to be a shot maker on the 6 and take a third longer shot than he would have had. Nice.
Center of the pocket.
Nice. Just a little bit. And combinations are always tough, Scott. I mean, I don't care how on or routine they are. Once you get 6-8 inches apart there, they're very missable.
Yeah, and he actually had to cut that a little bit more than I expected, knowing what the path of the 7 took. New leader in the clubhouse. SVB initially trailing 3-0. 4 on the floor.
Phil Wyndham sitting table side, owner of the Chattanooga Billiard Club. If you ever get by there, stop in and have a burger. It'd be one of the best burgers you ever had.
It's a great spot. Love it.
So Shane has clawed back to a lead and now is breaking, hoping to expand that lead. It's the 6 and the 2 on the corners. It's the 2 and the 8. There, the 8 ball found the side pocket. 7 ball chipped in. 6 ball went 4 rails, so he made 3.
Yeah, and a real tough starter. It's a lot of times a blind ball when it's that close. There's a look at the break again. Pretty square. Bunch of late drifters, the 6 and the 7. I mean, if he could play it, you know, this is a blind ball, real tough. I don't even know that he's going at it.
Yeah, controlling both ball speeds here for safety is not that easy either. He's looking at just tickling the 1 and try to get the cue ball behind the 10.
Yeah, maybe trickle the 1 behind the 3.
Right.
Even if you have to use the 9, you can use it. Tells you how tough this is, but can you kind of play this one two-way? I don't know that you really can. Is he looking to play it now in the lower left corner? That's what I was really wondering, because if you miss it, I feel like you might get away with it.
Boy, good call.
Well, you're not going to get away with that.
It's a problem when you hit it good and don't make it. You know, you sell out. If you hit it bad, if you butcher it like I might have, then sometimes you get a backdoor safety.
Exactly. And you notice where the cue ball finished, right? So he was really using the 2 as cover as well.
Yep.
Just didn't get there. This is tricky, Mark, coming out of the pocket with the 2 up table.
You can run into the 10 real easy here.
Yeah, good call. Now he's going towards the 9. I think he's okay. He's a shot maker. He's going to need to come with one here, but you don't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Really focus on the make.
Very nice. Very smooth. He had his good timing, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Got a little rub on the 3. That did not help the situation, that's for sure.
That's one of those things where you're so focused on making sure you get that ball down. Even if you don't get perfect position, just get that ball down, and then we'll try to negotiate thereafter.
Agreed.
You know, you don't think of people. Lima, Peru. I've never heard of any pool players in Lima, Peru. Here's a guy that can play right up here with Shane Van Boening.
Yeah, Manny Chow was actually from Peru. I can't tell you where. Manny played on my team in bonus ball for many years, and we actually won. Manny Chow, myself, and Tommy Kennedy, we won our season in our district. But there aren't a lot of players from Lima that you can hear of or that I've heard of, and Gerson's just recently come on the scene.
Yeah.
Last couple of years. Made a nice shot on the 3 as well. Uh-oh. This needs to settle a little. Just in time. Was he coming to the corner, Mark?
I don't know. He whacked that thing pretty hard, and he didn't fool with it much time, as if he, almost like wherever it goes, I'll be fine. But now it's got kind of in that odd little area here where you're going to have to make a good shot.
It looks a little steeper on camera than it does in person, but I think he's okay. Turned out fine.
Yeah.
And he's put the cue on a position where he's not reaching real bad, so that's okay. Oof. Big movement there.
He flinched at it. I thought he felt like he missed it. That is one thing, though. That's how you know you're alive. When you have adrenaline coursing through your body where you have involuntary muscle movements, you know you're playing a real pool match now. Ties it up 4-4. Nice out there. Real solid.
Yeah, I mean, the Shane factor is also real, right? You're leading 3-0, and the next thing you know, you're down 4-3. Now you've got a chance to tie it up. He did take a couple extra seconds before he shot the 8. I thought that was good of him, but sometimes that extra time can get in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where the body movement came from. And that is the traditional SVB stance when he's sitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks to be kind of semi-disengaged, but you'd be wrong.
Yes.
He's totally with it. Every little thing that happens there, he's on top of. Yesterday's matches, we had Filler put on a nice match, but I think it was around 870 or something. But Lee Van Corteza, most impressive, 930, and he was up to 970 at one point in that match, and it was pretty deep into the match too.
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah,
I was just talking about that out on the floor. I mean, in order to carry a 970 towards the end of the match, you're doing something extra special.
We'll be seeing Lee Van and Josh Filler tomorrow for sure. The 3 and the 5 on the corners, the 2 and the 7 right behind the 1. 2 didn't make it, 7 didn't make it. Here comes the 3, got the 4 railer in, got one of those. One ball's on the end rail down there. It's not going to be offensive shot for sure.
No, I don't think so. I think you're right. I think he's got to two-rail it down. I mean, he could go at the cut. Here's the premier replay. Interesting. I don't know. I don't think Shane will pass this up. I don't know if he'll shoot at it, but I don't think he'll pass the option up. You just don't want to leave a world-class player out in the middle like that.
Mm-hmm. Right, that was maybe just a little bit not strong enough on the push out.
Oh, I think it's going to work, though. Maybe Gerson knew something we didn't.
Shane's disappointed the cue ball didn't go another foot. But it was trying to make sure he got that one ball past C8 and contributed to hitting the one ball too full.
Yeah, he hit it too full. He wanted to catch it thinner, obviously.
But he was also worried that the one hits C8 over there. That was when you go thinner.
It's thinner.
Yeah, then it hit
better.
the second rail. It gets there sooner, is what I'm saying.
Got it. Yeah, the body movement's real now. He's got a little flinch in the cue. See if he can correct that going forward. Believe me, as a player, you can feel that happening. He knows it's there.
Good chat.
Yeah, he's looking, Mark. Coming between the 6 and 10. Or at least that's what he just took a look at. I mean, do you get cute here, or do you just stop your ball? Try and
stop. That's what he's measuring, just to see, do I have to do anything? If I could just make the 5, that would be better than if I had to try to draw back. So he cue ball trickled to his right a little bit.
Yeah, and that changes everything. He might be forced to come all the way down. Might be forced. It looks straight on the view that I have over here, so he's just going to try and trickle it in with a drag stroke, I believe. Well, there's no dragging. He powered it.
He tried to stun it forward.
He's snookered, Mark.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure. His body language tells me he is. There is a good kick and stick here, though. I know he wants to go for the make, but boy, the 9 and 10 are big balls if he knows the shot. Well.
What a shot that was. What a shot.
Yeah, being from Lima, I would assume he's got 3 cushion experience.
Man, he hit that good. And he got another big shot in front of him if he's cutting that in the corner.
Boy, it's all or nothing, right? And he's putting his foot on the gas. Big shot here. Wow.
What a shot that was.
Needs a big hop or a small hop, one of the two. Now he's in the 50. For his next trick, maybe the 9 off the 10 in the middle. I don't know. You've got to play this to the corner, right, Mark?
Yeah, yeah. As much as you'd like to have something to help you, it's going to be harder.
He's looking at the 9 up.
He is.
But where's the 10 going?
He might even be looking to just cut the straight in side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, no problem. He said, I'll take the 6-foot shot on the 10.
A big tester here. This is for the lead. Gorgeous. What a nice out that was.
Yeah, no movement
Man.
either of the last series of shots. No flinching in the cue.
And he has the lead once again, 5-4.
This is why people like watching him play.
Yeah. Now, this has been one of the most fun matches we've had. Very up-tempo, good play.
He's a little firecracker, this guy.
Uh-huh.
Likes to rock and roll, man. I love his style.
29 years old. Pool is getting a lot more worldwide, and it's starting to kind of look like there is going to be a tour, and it is going to grow. We are going the right direction for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, the money for the players has definitely gotten up there. Boy, something's happened. I don't know exactly what. I believe this is dry, right? Or did he get one down?
And the boy got a nice shot, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, then he's perfect. I was going to say the balls seem to be colliding differently. Oh, he got the ball down in the middle, I guess, which I was not able to see. And he's in a real good spot, like you just said.
Everything's wide open.
Seems like their TPA should be way up there.
I agree.
Doesn't feel like there's been very many mistakes in this match.
Completely agree. I think it's still early enough. Maybe the ball count hasn't really fed into that because it seems like the numbers are a little low for the quality of play we're seeing. I was looking before the match at the Fargo ratings, and we had Van Boening at 841. I think Filler's 852, so he's the number one. So Boening's right up there. And Martinez was 791.
Which is still very strong.
But yeah, there's only a handful of guys better.
What is Gorst?
He's up there. He
is?
was like 838, yeah, or
Okay.
836, something like that. Yeah, I can tell you. I was looking at it right before we came on.
I know Kachi is up there as well.
Let me just look and be accurate.
Well, there's a lot of them up there, to be
Here
honest.
we go.
The Coe brothers.
Gorst is third at 844. Filler was first at 852, and then I'm ashamed to say, here's a guy I'd never even heard of. Amir Ali is number two at 849. Do you know him? You travel more internationally than I do. But anyway, Coe is number four, Big Coe, 842. Ruiz, 842. Van Boening, 841. That's your top six right there. How could there be a guy I'd never heard of at 840?
I'm familiar.
Amir Ali from Iraq.
He's a super quick player, fun to watch.
Huh.
I'm a little stunned as far goes up there like that because I didn't feel like he played enough events to even get that Fargo, but that's impressive. Meanwhile,
Nice. Quality breaker running out there.
Break and run from Van Boening, all tied halfway.
Well, I'll tell you
there.
one thing. Ali does not play that many events, or I would have heard of him and know him better. So that suggests that could be a little skewed. Maybe the amount of matches it took Van Boening to get where he's at, this guy doesn't have anywhere near that many. So it might be a little bit skewed. He must be a good player, though.
must be a
Sure.
great player. I believe I've seen him play in a Matchroom event or two. When these guys are trading blows.
Yeah. Yeah, we're 5-5. My enjoyment factor Fargo rating for this match has been right up there, too, about 850.
Absolutely right.
I always say like this, these are the matches anyone can broadcast. This one.
They
You know,
make our job so
it's
easy, Mark.
It's that last one last night. Now you got to
It
be a
was-
pro to
the
get
last-
through that one.
Then you really earn your money. Oh, big hit there. 8. And I think he's got a good look on the 1. I can't tell if the 4 just got him. What a big swing if it did, though, because he's got pretty natural on the 2. He can get to the 1.
He's looking like he thinks he can make it.
Oh, yeah, well done. He did not decelerate at all. He doesn't want to get straight. That would be a little cold-blooded. As good as he hit it and got through the ball, especially stretching.
Yeah, it did get a little bit straight for sure.
Well, that's a problem where the 3 is.
He's disappointed.
Well, he can punch cheat this if he has to. Well, I'm surprised.
He fell well short. He needed to go forward and bump into the 3, just like that. He was on the right trajectory, and take your chances that they settle apart, because a lot of times if you don't land perfectly dead nuts on it, you do end up with a shot.
Well, it didn't look to me like he even tried to play position.
No, the punch wasn't really laying there. It was
so you're saying he played to do this, right?
He wasn't. He meant to go a little forward,
really?
Bump into the 3,
Speed
and try to
was
get it.
terrible.
Yeah.
I think I felt maybe okay. I get it.
What happened was when he got that predicament, then he didn't commit the way he normally does to the shot. So he just thought, well, I'll just roll it up there. And then he didn't focus, so that's why his speed got so far off. It wasn't that real focused delivery.
Looked to me like he just wanted to cinch the 2.
Oh, what a hit that was, but I know he wasn't trying to play that.
No, he was definitely trying to catch that ball full. Yeah, all right. He can get it this, I believe. The overhead is tough. This is a good view. It looks like he can, Mark.
I think he can gut it. Not an easy shot.
Well, it does carry position as long as he avoids the 10.
Pretty shot. Wow. Courageous.
Wow. Clean as you can get. Crowd recognized it. You said he's 29 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Going to take the distance or try and get closer, going 2 rails out forward. And a little decel maybe there, or maybe coming down on the cue ball just a tick.
Well, he's passed all these challenges along the way, but these are those little off-angle, missable shots. And that's where if you continue to move your body or flinch at it when you stroke, that's when those misses start to pile up. Got my head right on his head here. Oh my. He really wrenched that. That was a very ugly, good shot.
It happened.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. He's going to, I think he can just cheat this and punch over, yeah.
Now, do you zigzag it and take your chances with the side pocket?
I think
you can't get above the side.
I think that's the better play. Everybody that we've seen trying to come 3 rails is struggling, especially on the 10-footer. It's just a little different.
Yeah, I think it's thin enough. He can't go in that side pocket where he's standing, so he thinks he's just going to try. Oh, he went inside. Okay.
Yeah, watch out. Don't fall on the rail. Side pocket's going to help him here. He can get into the cue ball a little bit better. Wow.
What a job there. Man. 6-5.
Match 6-5. Martinez leads.
That was a break and run out.
Yes, it was. They are trading blows. You know, Mark, I got a chance to commentate SVB versus Fedor. They played a 10-ball match a while back, and it was an insane match. I believe the finish was like 120 to, I put myself on the spot to like 116 or 114. But boy, Shane, as you already know, he played for like 8-9 hours and never took a break. Like, he won't take a break. I swear he doesn't ever have to go to the bathroom. It's just shocking how hardcore he is in those matches. And I don't know anybody that can play those races to 120 any better than he can. Still at the age of 46.
41.
Excuse me, 41. But it's amazing. His endurance just continues to carry him. And I know he's still in good shape, but you still have to be so mentally strong.
I watched that match, and I really feel like, they kind of try to allude that, a 24-year-old Gorst is going to just take over because he's younger and Shane's getting older and stuff. And I felt like he was like a boxer that's just not going to ever sit on the stool in between rounds. And he will get there 3 hours early and practice, and then kick your ass for 8 hours, and then practice some more, and he'll be waiting for you the next day if you think old guy can't handle it.
Yeah, agreed. It was special to watch.
That was just the week before the U.S. Open that came down to Gorst and Van Boening.
Van Boening and Gorst in the final.
And you had all the top, Shaw, Filler, every killer guy. Okay, and they both went through, but I do think that hardcore race to 120 led both of them to get through all those tough skirmishes to the end.
Well, we talked about that right in the beginning. They were both absolutely drained, right? But each day they got more rest going into the U.S. Open. They got stronger. And to your point, a lot of people picked those two to be in the finals of the U.S. Open, and it's so tough to do.
Oh, against that killer field, how could they both slither through there? But that's that
every
training.
day they got a little bit more rest, and
Yep.
they got much stronger. And by like day 3, they were both right where they were in that race to 120. And really, neither one of them should have lost the race to 120. But you've got to have a winner and you've got to have a loser. And I think that match will happen again one day. Shout out to Kyle at Rail Yard Billiards, doing a great job with X-Pool. And Gerson, as we're running our yap, continues to run out.
Well, this is what he's going to have to do because Shane's not going to give it away, so you're going to have to take it. And Gerson's doing a good job of doing what he needs to do.
Pretty impressive. His game's come up since the last time I seen him play, which was probably about a year ago. And I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, this is the way he was playing at the International Open when we first met him, for me.
Well, this is his style, but I think his consistency's gotten a little better, right?
Gotcha.
On this stage, playing Shane on a 10-foot table,
Yeah.
I'm expecting a flaw here or there. This style that he's got is still the same, but boy, I think he's tuned it in just a little bit better.
Look at his TPA, and he's clawed up to that, not coming down to that. So he's showing some fight.
I just don't understand how Shane is at 847, but the numbers don't lie. It seems like they've both just been breaking and running in their innings as of late. No wasted movements by Martinez, though, right? Around the table, he's super efficient.
Oh, high energy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's intimidating. Listen, I don't care who you are. Shane knows that this guy's in it to win. He's not going to let up. The speed's not going to change. The tempo's not going to change. A little off center there.
Dry break, but not much of a shot for Shane, so he's going to have to earn an opening here. Looking at a push out.
Yeah, where do you go, Mark?
I would tuck that 4-ball up by this 7 for sure. Even if I had to kick at the 1, if I did that, and just take a kick at the 1. Shane doesn't want to do that. He wants to go ball first, so he's not going to tangle anything up here.
He definitely thinks his push is out. Jeremy Jones talks about it. I talk about it. I think he's probably one of the best rollout players, if not the best rollout player in the world.
Shane definitely had a plan here.
Trying to get behind the 9 here, I think. Well, he got a little help and then lost a little help. Can he chop this? I don't know.
No. I don't think he can cut that back into the side.
No, he can't see it.
Okay. It would be ultra thin, that's for sure. So Shane came out of that pretty good from where he was at. It was an ugly spot to have to play from.
This was intended.
Good speed. That's all you could do. You couldn't play a lockdown safety. You just had to try to get through a safety exchange and force Shane to play another safety. That's why he chose the softer speed to try to get that separation and introduce any kind of clutter that might be available.
Looking to chip the 1 behind the 7. He'd like to miss the 6 here, I think.
Boy, that's good control there.
It's great.
Anytime you're moving 2 balls like that, you've got to have a lot of experience to do that with control. It looks so simple, but just try to do that.
Yeah, and he really wanted to just creep by the 6, but this works. Like you said, the control on the 1 was great. And the 4 is a big problem. 6 is also a big problem. He's handcuffed.
Yeah. He does not have easy access to this 1.
Jump cue's not allowed. Oh, look at this. Is he trying to wrap? Yeah. Pockets are a little too big for that there shot.
He was going to do like a 3-rail
3
kick.
cushions.
Yeah.
Bend out of the corners. Inside English. To the first rail, to the short rail, and back to the long rail.
It's called the snake.
The snake.
The snake.
Yeah.
I love it, though. Shane earned ball in hand here with a really good moving both balls safety play. It was not that easy to do.
But I think that was a pretty rash decision right there. So that might be a sign of maybe a slight bit of inexperience at this level, right? Because, you know, I know somebody like yourself would have considered tying something up or doing something much more effective, right?
Yeah.
Than just relinquishing ball in hand, because really the percentages of what he was trying to do were very, very low.
Did Shane hook himself? He clearly is close because he's down. Oh, boy, he's going to be disappointed as could be.
Well, he's trailing 7 games to 5. He can't afford an error at this point. Well, he had to spin it. He did snooker himself, Mark. That is going to let him down, especially if Martinez takes advantage. Looking for the gap between the 5 and 9. He's found it.
You know, sometimes the nerves pile up harder when you're ahead. You know, I mean, because you think, well, I got the lead, now I got to cash this in. If I don't cash this in, then when you're behind, you're kind of like, hey, my back's against the wall. I got to man up and be a shot maker here, get through this. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that.
Wow. I think he's carried an angle to the green 6 as well. This is about as good as you could do from where he was.
Oh, yeah. I bet he's delighted if he can glide over there to the 6 ball comfortably. Oh, yeah. You called it.
Yeah, just extremely deliberate with his movements.
And these are the balls that he's been taking care of throughout the match. You're not going to play 900 pool if you don't get out from here regular. So the only way, now is if that nerves start piling up.
Did he fall a little straight here?
Just want to take a look. If I stop the cue ball, just play the 8 up in the corner.
I think there is value in cheating this a little bit. Now he looks like he's coming back. Yeah, cheat it just a little. Pretty mature, the decisions, right?
Oh, yeah. He's clearly a good player. You're not going to get to this stage of the match and not be a great player. He's still over 900, isn't he? 905.
Nicely done. Very nicely done. And this was a very big game. To snooker himself on the 5, SVB will really sting. Yeah, he's going to be reaching here, I think, a little bit, Mark.
He looks at the shot. He's got plenty of time because he's got his extension left.
Not only that, he's quick.
Yeah. He might be thinking he doesn't have an extension. He just has to play it within 30 seconds, but that's not true.
Wow.
Yeah, place that one in there nicely. 8-5.
The Martinez now leads at 8-5.
Yeah, there is no question. He is meant to be here. Man, the table's had his back against the wall so many times, I can't count. Come through shining. Needs to start with a good break and a shot on the 1.
He got the good break. Looks like he got the shot on the 1, too. Okay, well, he got everything that we needed here. Once again, 2 balls on the break.
Oh my goodness gracious. So what was he trying to do there? Make both balls?
I think
because he drew back for the 2.
I think he was trying to play the 1 off the rail, off the 7, so he could just get the cue ball where it's at now, but it was just a hair too aggressive.
That's exactly what he was trying to do. I turned for a quick second, was looking at something else, and I'm just shocked.
The 7 ball was up in the corner.
Yeah.
Position was going to be tricky. So
a little tricky. But I still feel like the combination softly was the move, right? He could have delegated where the cue ball was headed there. That was a little haphazard. Surprised. I was really shocked about that decision, hitting it with speed. Boy, he seems frustrated. The way he got down on that kick
Well, he
very
just one
quickly.
stroked it. Then
Yeah.
it was,
Listen, he's human, but he will get frustrated at times. It's rare to see. He's such a perfectionist.
and he has the lead at this juncture so often, too. There's
Right.
nothing to get. He's usually 8-5 in front.
But credit to Gerson. He's played great.
Fantastic. He's over 900. What is he, 910? Something like that. Yeah. And needs 2 more games. If he gets out here, that'd be huge.
Yeah, is this awkward? No, he's fine. He's definitely been closing. He's not closed the match out yet, but it feels like he's just going to go on with it. We're going to find out. Could go to the corner here. Less movement with the cue ball.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like that idea.
If the 5 plays past the 7, then I guess you can thin it to the side and come one rail up. But boy, you could play to the corner and just pinch back for the 5 in the left middle.
Yeah, I like that. You're close to the 4, so it's easy to be accurate, but he's going to the side pocket here, so he feels something better this way.
Yep, nothing wrong with it.
And maybe the 5 does go past the 7 cleanly. If that's the case, maybe that's okay.
Well, that's, I think, what he's battling with in his mind, right?
Oh. Yeah, I think your shot, I think going to the corner is a better shot. You don't move the cue ball near as much. It's way more controlled. That you're close enough that you don't need the side pocket margin of error here. Because to get position, you're going to have to hit the proper part of the pocket anyway.
What?
No, that's just the issue right there. What we
Absolutely.
just described is he was trying to get the cue ball over here, but then the side pocket wasn't there.
You'll see the elites go to the corner versus the sides. The corners will get you out of a lot of trouble with that cue ball. It's all about moving it less when you need to, especially under pressure.
There's nothing that cures someone that's feeling a little anxious, impatient, frustrated, like coming to the table on an unforced error. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and this could be funny because he avoided the 5 to the top left. So does it go?
It's got to be so tight that because they both were trying to play around it, so. Oh, he's going to just rub this to the end rail. Yeah, there's that soft speed control. Try to introduce the 7, didn't get it.
Yeah, there's no question. Gerson should have probably gone to the corner. On the 4. A little surprised Shane was so quick with the 4 there too, right? Colliding with the 10. To where he had to play safe on the 5. Now, this is going to hold up, I think.
Yeah. These little type safeties are so much more effective when you don't play with jump cues.
Didn't want the 5 to end up all the way down table. Shane can swerve this.
Ooh, I thought he hit it perfect.
Well, here we go again. Does it pass the 7?
Goes in the side for sure.
Yes, it does.
Still, that'd be a really tough get to get position too. He cuts it in the side. The cue ball will be near the 9 ball on its trajectory.
No, he's over-popped it. And this is going to lay up good for SVB. The miracle has come to fruition. And these are the moments that can get away from you playing Van Boening. And the next thing you know, it's over. will we look back at the decision for Gerson to play the 4 on the side versus just knock it down in the corner as the point in the match?
So far, that's where it's at. There's still some pool to be played to see, but that's going to be a pivotal moment for sure. He was on the verge of a 9-5 lead.
Yes. And really in control most of the match.
8-6, huh?
8-6.
We've had some good matches, but we haven't had anything more entertaining than this, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I could definitely do this with you all day. A match like this. Really enjoy it. The TPA has definitely dropped a little bit. 880 now for Gerson, 808 for SVB.
Yeah, he was exposed 2 or 3 times in that rack, possibly losing it. He kicked and didn't even, it was just a 1-stroke and gave a ball in hand. He had another shot where he bumped into the 10 ball. That was a little bit unforeseen. Okay, so the 5 and the 9 are on the corners. 2 and the 6 right behind the 1.
Playing on the best equipment. Tour Blue 860 Simonis. HR, I believe. The Aramith balls. As good as it gets.
That one-piece slate diamond table, too, 10-footer.
Now there's a hit. Nada. Distance here, and the 1 is not frozen, so this shot is extremely difficult. Very difficult.
Think there's ever a time where you don't play this?
It's now.
No, I'm just saying, do you think?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
avoid? You can lose with this shot.
But not if you're this guy. Avoid the 5. World class hit right there. Into the meat of the pocket.
Yeah, he made a monstrous shot there.
That's what he does. Don't open the door too far. He will climb right through.
Another, second follow-up shot there that was really good.
Just doesn't want any contact with the green 6, right? So he wants to get a line on the 4 where he can come around and avoid the green.
You got just that little flat place where you can't do much left and right with the cue ball here.
Is he going forward?
I think he is.
Power forward.
Good shot to manufacture an angle where he can easily avoid the 6.
Yeah.
You see how hard he had to hit that to just get that little carry on the cue ball and create those little angles that weren't really just laying there naturally if you roll it.
Yeah, very heady play, right? Knowing he's got to take a little more distance just to avoid it. Oh, he's so good at getting the most out of this. I think he'll punch 1 rail back over to the 2nd rail above the 9 and 7. He could draw down past the 9. All depends on really where he lays.
Now, this is going to be where I was saying earlier that nobody hits the balls harder with accuracy than Shane Van Boening because you're real flat here. It's going to look like it was unnatural. No, he was trying to punch the draw. Okay.
Yeah, that's always the problem with this shot, right? He'd like to have been a little steeper on the 5 so he could punch over, right, Mark? Not steep enough, requires that draw stroke, and if you overhit it a little bit, you're going directly into the 9. Now can he use the 9 to cover him up? Outside ball here, nice and tight to the second rail.
What a nice hit that was.
Yeah, that was the next best thing, other than running out. Gerson going to take a whack at it, right?
I think he looked at it like 2 rails to try to get separation.
He's not going to get it.
Yeah, he was the underdog from there to come out of it. He played it the best that he could. Just didn't turn out the best that it could have.
And you feel a big momentum shift now.
Nice shot there. Looks like he's going to use some stun on this. Yeah.
2 rails tight to the 3rd.
What a beautiful shot. Routine 10 ball. It will be Van Boning's break, too. Trailing 1 game. 8-7.
And 2 in a row. Van Boning, we got a match. It's 8-7. No player timeout.
No, I don't think he can take a timeout. Or unless Shane allows it, maybe he can. I thought he had to be your turn at the table.
What a big swing, Mark. Chance
Yeah.
to go up 9-5 versus 8-7. We'll be right back.
So he made a ball on the break. Yep. This is a little delicate. You can hit it too fat. Just lightly rub the rail and wobble and hang. So you got to make a good ball here. Shane make a really clean pass at this. He might not even be playing offense.
No, he's going to try and glue him behind the 5, I believe.
I think he's going forward over to the 7.
Yeah, he is. I didn't look at the English. I was looking at the overhead. That's even better. If it holds.
Oh, great shot.
Yeah, well,
Great shot.
it's actually a 1 pocket play there. Going forward like that. We saw somebody do that yesterday at a really extreme angle. Speaking of breaks, Mark, we were talking about the mindset of a break at the right time, and I feel like Gerson took the break at the best time he could in this match. See if it helps him.
Yeah, nice effort.
Shane going to earn a shot, though. So he is going to get an opportunity to tie this match up.
Good shot. Yeah, we were at the International Open right before Shane got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he won the Bigfoot down there. And I was talking to him afterwards, and I go, I bet you were you're more nervous about that speech coming up than you were playing the finals here. He agreed 100-fold.
You know what was funny is everybody loved his speech. He just went on and on and on, and we loved it because Shane isn't a man of many words. And he
Ever.
really let it fly at the speech. It was such a great event. The Hall of Fame. Several hundred people there for the dinner.
Got 5-ball. Oh, he'd be mighty disappointed about this.
Look at how quick he gets down to kick. It's frustration. And that should sting. You know, I'm not critical, or I guess I am. My job is to be critical. If Shane has a flaw, Jeremy's touched on it as well, is if he makes a quick error, he's such a perfectionist that frustration can take over. If he takes a couple seconds in that kick, he's so good that we know he can hit the correct side of the ball. Well, frustration showed there, catches the bottom side of the floor versus any type of accuracy. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, he is human, but that is a flaw that he has. And it's been there for a long, long time because of his perfectionism. Just would have liked to have seen take a little more time on the kick.
It was a hard kick to do much with, but you still want to give it your all, even though it's low percentage. You're disappointed you didn't have your offensive shot.
Yeah, of course.
And when your opponent sees that, he sees,
Exactly.
He's like a mortal human being that sometimes gets frustrated, you know, where if you just take it and just say, hey, that's what happens in pool, it still kind of keeps you that, how would I put it, your aura is still that invincible knight in, you know, armor.
Big shot here. Should be just fine. He came with a nice shot there on that ball to come back and get up high enough on the 8.
Yeah.
A little awkward on it.
I would think he'd just go side rail, but he's drawing. I thought he would just stay on that end of the table. Oh, he did. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just stay down there.
Yeah,
You're never going to miss. You're never going to miss that ball.
Right.
You're never getting hooked. I mean, yeah, maybe you'd like to have nicer position and wasn't laying for that. Just go to the center of the table here.
Perfect. Already to the extension.
Okay, that's a ninth win for Martinez. He just matched 9-7.
Hill, 9-7.
Yeah, really good point you actually made, right? When he kicks at the ball, what that gives your opponent when you just kind of get down and flail at it versus give it that extra second or two. It really does show a little bit of frustration, and that will boost your opponent. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's just one little flaw on SVB's side that he can do from time to time. Now, obviously, like I said, he's human.
And the other thing is, everything else is so damn good. We got one little thing there.
Of course.
But
I think that's what it is, right?
I would rather maintain that aura of invincibility of, hey, everybody messes up once in a while. I'm still going to give this next shot my all, even if you don't hit it any better than what he did.
Simply for the fact of what it does to your opponent,
right?
Versus build them up,
right? Everybody's going to make mistakes. I've played every top player for many, many years, and they all miss. It's just they miss less than I do. They all miss. Okay, it's the 9 and the 7 on the corners, the 4 and 5 right behind the 1.
Looking to play the 4, and he has.
Made both the 4, 5, and 9.
And 7.
And here comes the 10. He made all the balls that Shane sometimes makes, and he has a shot at the 1 here.
Very steep. Can he reach?
I think he can from the side. Well, maybe not. It's definitely not going to be easy.
Look at the break, though.
Ugh.
And then, we talked about it yesterday. It's not about how big you are. It's about your cue speed and timing. This young man can't be over 5'7". Possesses plenty of power, and he can reach it quite well, Mark. Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty heady. He knew the 3 was a problem. Might as well go ahead and attack it right there. Now he's got the opening here to break and run out to close out the set.
Match-winning shot right there. Take a little chance at going into those balls, but really clears up the problem.
And you're going to have to go into him next shot anyway. So if you're going to make one shot, just make one hard shot instead of multiple.
Yeah, I saw a little flinch in the arm there. Let's see if it shows up. I don't expect it. The 6 to the 8 is really the key. Oh, he hit it pretty nice. He got it through quite well. One shot away, Mark.
Yeah, really. Nice. And now it's a virtual certainty of a break and run out here. And that would be his 3rd one of the set, too, by the way.
You've got to give it to him. He's kept the heat on Shane all along. Really efficient in every shot that he plays and deliberate. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
That's a great play.
You know, a lot of times in these matches, I'll say any of these matches could be the finals, but that validates it right there. Here's Shane. He's a decisive favorite on Fargo rating. But yet, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. I think it was just a matter of a couple little snookers, right? Just a couple maybe little careless errors on Shane's part, and a couple quick moves. But this is pool at this level.
And the other part was the other guy played a 900.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah,
pretty darn good. All right, we want to sincerely thank everyone for joining us today. That is our time for this time. Until next time, so long.
Martinez for a chance to go to the Final Four.